Prince, what's good, man?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Doing well. Listen, shout out to everybody joining us tonight. This is Look in the Mirror, the conversation. I'm one of your co-hosts, Quade Price. Man, go. We're gonna let you co-host tonight, Steve Prince. Tell the people who you are, Steve Prince. Tell them a little something about yourself, man.
I'm Steve Prince. I'm just coming on the show. I've been on the show with them for a little bit after their beginnings, and I've been coming back ever since. This is almost like AA. Keep it coming back. Keep coming back.
My man. No, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. I know we got some competition tonight, man. I heard it's a versus battle tonight. I heard Shaka Khan going up against Stephanie Mills or some stuff.
No.
Man, so.
I'm about to leave. Oh no. Stephanie Mills.
Right, Stephanie Mills, man. So we competing with versus tonight for this show, for this airtime, man. So you know how that go, man. Everybody love a versus around here, man.
Especially Shaka Khan. Stephanie Mills up.
Yeah, I don't even see the matchup, bro. But they've been working hard trying to bring those versus battles together, man. And like I said, I saw Stephanie Mills and Shaka Khan. I'm like, I don't even get it, but okay.
Man.
What's going on, Chloe?
Hey,
how you doing?
Hey, Prince. You all right?
Yeah, he just hurt my feelings. He just told me Shaka Khan and Stephanie Mills is getting it on tonight, and I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Interesting little matchup, man. But like I said, I know we can
catch the replay.
Yeah, for sure. We got some people checking in with us right now. Let's say shout out to y'all for checking in. Let's say we got about 6-7 folks joining us right now. So that's a good look.
Welcome.
This is Look in the Mirror, the conversation. But man, let me do this first. Just because I know it's a hot item right now. I just wanted to throw a little rest in peace out to young Dolph. So I understand he was shot and killed in Memphis. I want to say I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to throw a rest in peace to young Dolph, 36 years old, 2 children. It's always horrible hearing that type of stuff with these little young fellas. 36, super young. You got a long way to go after 36. So to hear something like that, it's just tragic. So I wanted to do that real quick. Just put that out there. I'm sure folks have heard it. If you heard it, if you haven't. Yeah, we got an interesting little topic tonight. Came across another video. This one actually got me a little irritated. I'm a little irritated. So the topic for tonight's show is they just want it all. Yep, they just want it all. And the topic is, the topic from this video is really directed at the young ladies. And like I said, anybody who's watching this right now or watching the show, just drop a comment. Let us know where you're at, where you represent. Just check in with us so we know you're here. But the topic is around these young ladies. So I came across a video, and yeah, I'm gonna put the video on. We're gonna go there. I'm just gonna put the video on.
What up, bitch?
What's going on, man? You all right?
Here.
Man, C. Prince said he co-hosting tonight, man. I guess he had to step away. But yeah, so that's the topic for tonight. Like I said, they just want it all. And I'm gonna put up a little video for some context. Let me brace everybody up front. The video does have some profanity in it. It's got some choice words in it. Peter, what's good, man? Appreciate you checking in. It's got some choice words in it. It's got some questionable language. It's got all of that in it. So I just want to brace everybody for what the video is. But I think it's a little concerning. And listen, I'm not gonna sit here in front like it don't have me a little irritated. Los, what's good, man?
What's good, man? We in the building, man. What's cracking with you?
Nothing much, man. We're about to get into this, man. Like I said, C Prince said he co-hosting tonight, man. So he running that spot, man.
He can go roast. It's my show.
Not for long. Not joking.
I don't mind you being my employee.
All right. So we gonna get into this, like I said, and I'm just giving a disclaimer. The video does have some choice words, some profanity. It's got a little bit of everything in it. So disregard that and just pay attention to the content. But I'm just gonna kind of just give you a little background on the video, right? So it's a young fella on the street. He's talking to young ladies and he's asking them, what do they prefer, or in what order? Basically, what do they prefer? A working man, a scammer, or a drug dealer?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
A working man, a scammer, or a drug dealer? So we're gonna throw this up, and I said we're gonna get into this conversation because I think we can. It's a conversation we definitely need to have. So let me throw this up, and we're gonna get into this real quick.
Scammer, drug dealer, or 9 to 5?
Drug dealer. I want him to move that weight.
I'm your pusher man.
I'm trying to be on the YouTube. Respectfully, it is what it is.
Scammer, 9 to 5, drug dealer.
Wow, that was quick. Oh, you had this planned out. She had this planned out. She's the expert. That's her whole model right now.
9 to 5 is more reliable, but scammer niggas gonna get you what you want.
Do you got a scamming nigga right now?
No,
You don't got the 9 to 5 nigga?
I don't have anybody.
You got the drug dealer
I
nigga?
don't have nobody.
I have nobody. Damn, she's lonely. Damn.
It is.
They better slide on her DMs or something. She's taking application for the winter.
I am.
Oh, say less.
I tell the world I prefer 9 to 5, but I really want to scare me in my heart. No funny shit. Because
Who are you, bitch?
we didn't care shit.
They heard that in that video.
Whoa. Nah. He said, who are you, bitch? Is crazy. He's on bad. Hold on. This man, hold on. This man is on bad timing.
I just don't figure out who the fuck that bitch is. That's my friend over there.
Oh, you see, ladies, you gotta have a friend like this because he is backing you up.
I need a drug dealer and then a scammer, then fuck the 9 to 5. I want the scammer first, then the drug dealer, then the 9 to 5.
They like the fast money over here.
Because the fast money niggas, they got time. They can take you out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
But
Friday.
you just complain
9
you
to
didn't want
5, only take you out on the weekends. Take you out all the time.
All right, so I'm gonna stop right there. All right, so the title of the show is They Just Want It All. So we got the young fella out on the street talking to the young ladies. Like I said, I'm just kind of looking at the young ladies. We're talking 20s, 30s of age. He's asking them, do they want the 9 to 5 guy? Do they want the drug dealer? Do they want the scammer? And if you notice from the examples that played, most of those ladies did not put the 9 to 5 gentleman first. They put the scammer first. They put the drug dealer first, but not the 9 to 5 gentleman. And then in that last interview with the young ladies, the young lady made a point of basically the drug dealer scammer guys, they can take you out 5 days a week. The 9 to 5 guy can only take you out on the weekend. So like I said, I want to talk about this because, like I said, these are our next generation, right? So 20, 30-year-old women, these are our next generation. These are the women that our young men will be picking from. These are the women that will be the next set of mothers. These are this is it. This is what follows us. And to hear that the working man or the 9 to 5 man has, I don't even know how to explain that, lost his credibility. I don't even know how to explain that. But this video got me a little frustrated. So I want to get y'all take on this. What's y'all thoughts on this video?
I mean, the 9 to 5 dude got no love. Like, I feel like there is a declining respect for the 9 to 5 man. Like, it's clearly amongst the younger crowd, the younger generation, right? The 20, you know what I'm saying? The 20 to 30 crowd, you know, like clearly they have no hollers for the 9 to 5 man. But I mean, we're talking about a generation who everything for them is at the tip of their fingers, right? So like the information, a lot of we're talking about YouTube sensations, Instagram models, you know what I mean? This a whole new breed of people. So for them, they want everything fast. They want fast money. They want fast women and men. Like they just want everything fast. Like everything has to be fast. It's just instant gratification. So like, I mean, you know, they can't even watch a video longer than 5 minutes. Like you done lost 60 seconds is too long for a commercial. Like you done lost their attention in the first 15 if you ain't saying nothing. Like, I mean, really, I think the last time, you know, we did, you know, because my advertising background, I think the last time we checked is something like 6 seconds is the time span, is like the average time span now. Like I'm attention span, I mean, now. So like you have people like they checking out after a few seconds. If you haven't said anything in that first 6 that's like really getting them, like they checking out. And so this is what we have now, right? So that's why you have these young girls saying, well, they want somebody that can basically be where they need them to be when they need them to be, which I don't know. I mean, last time I checked, a drug dealer can't be where you want him to be take you out whenever because he on the block. So I mean, I don't know where that came from, but okay. And then the scammer, it's like my issue with that is like this person is dishonest. They not trustworthy. So I don't care if, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can I trust you? You out here doing other people dirty. Like, how do I know you won't do that to me? Like, cause you about that money, like money life, and you don't really care what you got to do to get it. So, I mean, it's dishonest. So like, I can't trust that. Like I'm supposed to trust you. So, I mean, it's crazy. This is the mindset. And the 9 to 5 dude just got kicked to the curb. And I'm like, most of these dudes that y'all talking about, if it ain't a basketball player or a rapper, these, you know, or just happen to pop off on Instagram or happen to pop off on YouTube, most of the dudes that y'all looking up to, like, you know, that you actually have, let me say, you actually have access to is a 9 to 5 dude making 6 figures. You don't have access to, you know, Carmelo Anthony. Like you not touching him. You're not even in the same space with him. So unless you just happen to come across a dude that popped off on social media, so he got some sponsorships or he getting some money some kind of way, then you don't even have access. You know what I'm saying? You got to resort to a drug dealer that has a very short lifespan if he don't get, you know, put in prison first. So, I mean, it's crazy. Like, it does really make you want to ask that question. Like, you know, is the modern woman, the woman of today, just like really in a headspace where she want it all?
Right.
At what,
Right.
you know, regardless of the cost.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of the, I think that's a lot of the problem. Let me just grab this comment. Do you put these recordings on YouTube? Yeah, no. So they're going to YouTube right now. So all of our shows go straight to YouTube as we're doing it. So they'll all be there if you want to go view them on the tube. Appreciate that question though. CC Power, she also dropped a comment. I can't blame them for not wanting the 9 to 5 job though, because there are so many other opportunities to make money. DoorDash, Instawork, Instacart, Lyft, Uber, but no benefits. And then Peter also dropped a comment. He said, well said, Chloe, try taking them out on an hour date. Bet they'll check their phone 5 to 30 plus times without even knowing they're doing it. And that's factual as well, Peter. Let's just, you know, Chloe did bring up a good point. There's definitely a attention span difference in these modern people, the modern women, as you refer to them. But and then to CC's point as well, You know, CC Lester, that's a valid point, right? So there are newly created opportunities to generate income outside of a 9 to 5. I think my problem with this, what I saw in this video, was the fact that the 9 to 5, or quote unquote the hard working man, like that position is no longer respected. And I think that's the issue. Let's say we have young ladies. Let's say this is our next generation of lady, right? This is what's coming after us. Saying that they willing to put it all on the line, you know, because this dude can take me out 5 days a week versus 2 days a week. You know, they're saying that they're willing to put it on the line because this guy is getting this, he got this money. But at the same time, you could be risking your whole family, your child, and everything else for this money that this guy has. And I think that's, for me, that's where the problem comes in. It's just like, when do we get to the point where the money is just, it's dictating everything? It's dictating morals, it's dictating standards, it's dictating what we respect and what we don't, just based off some money. Like, when do we get to that point? Like, you know, when I grew up, moms was telling daughters, stay away from these drug dealers, stay away from these hot boys, stay away from these dudes on the street. You don't want that. You know, go get you a solid, hard-working man, have your little family and do your thing. So it's like, when did that flip? Then when do we get to the point? Because clearly either somebody is telling these young girls this, or they just absorbing it on their own. Like, I can't really explain it, but I don't know. This one kind of got me thrown a little bit. Where's C Prince at? Come on, man. What you saying about this, C Prince?
I'm saying, you know what? I don't think it's the lack of respect of the 9 to 5 work, because you know what? You only can live fast so long. You know what I'm saying? It's just right now, a lot of these young women are not trying to they're not trying to be with somebody. They're living for this moment. You know what I'm saying? They're using their bodies and whatever they can to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? And not always their bodies. They're using their intelligence. You know, you got this street brother over here. He wasted money. Why not get it? You know what I'm saying? This is like, you know, this is a hustle for them. Why not get it? This man gonna pay your bills, buy you cars and all this stuff. So it's an opportunity that they taking advantage of. You know, I hate to say it, you know, they also tell women, use what you got to get what you want. They doing it now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the problem. You know, the men got to correct themselves, understanding they invested in gold chains and cars and weed and whatever, and women. You know, women is like a commodity to them now. When you got money, you know what I'm saying? So guess what? They're using each other. So who benefited in the long run? That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? The person with the money or the person with the body? Who gonna benefit?
Yeah, no, I can feel that, but I think this is even the larger issue, right? So we, once again, I hear ladies talking about they can't find no good men, or they can't find men out here. But I'm like, once again, if we are now omitting the 9 to 5 brother from the equation, then ladies, it's like, what you think you picking from? Like, so like, I don't get it, man.
I get it, because you know, I watch young women go to college off these doughboys, and then as soon as they get their education, they gone. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I mean, I really do get it. I mean, this is not, you know what I'm saying, they might risk some, but if they benefit from it, they're gonna get their education, they're gonna get a house, they're gonna get a car, and they might not, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna be done with this. Then they're gonna get their 9 to 5 dude making a high 5-figure or just close. Yeah. Listen,
I mean, I guess here's the thing. First of all, I don't condone this behavior. Disclaimer. I don't condone this behavior. But if a woman is smart enough, at least smart enough to take advantage of it, basically like an investment, right? Basically, this gentleman invested in her future, or whatever you want to say. Like, I don't condone this behavior, but she's walking away better than she entered the situation. But let's just be honest. None of them women that was answering that question was talking about that. That's not what it was. They was talking about being taken out. They was talking about getting everything that they wanted. They was talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the kind of stuff they was talking about. So it's like, I hear you, and there probably is some that did that, but you know, we talking about probably the minority of that group. And to drive that point home about the 9-to-5 gentlemen just not being respected the same way, I was watching the video with Mr. Price, where it was Kevin Samuels interviewing a young lady who was like 26, and she was still living in her parents' house. And her father was some kind of retired government worker. I don't know. He had been with the FBI, I think, or something like that, or something. But a very good living, right? Enough to where her mom didn't have to work her whole life, and she was still 26, living at home and living well, right? This is how much her father was able to support his family and support her. Put her through college and everything. She went to college and everything. And when Kevin asked her, like, you know, well, so are you basically, he got down to it and like, so the type of dude that your dad is, you saying that like you wouldn't. And basically this young woman was saying that although her father had done all these things, working his job, right, his government job, he had provided for her all these things and provided a life for his mama. She had to work, private schools, whatever. They, you know, she for herself, she would not choose somebody like her father, because he didn't have it popping off like she would want her dude to have it popping off.
But you think about this though. If you think about most of the professions that you see men in, the 9-to-5ers, let's stick to the 9-to-5ers. When they leave their jobs, they don't look like 9-to-5ers no more. They try to look like them dudes on the street to attract the women. Understand? If they can look like the 9-to-5ers and attract the women, but they dress down to attract women, because how many times you run to a man or somebody, your homeboy, he making 6 figures, but he going to the most hoodest bar in the world, dressing like he belongs there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but your job. Okay, but let's just say this right now. Your job is what you do. It's not who you are. And if you work for a corporation, if it's not your business, so it's not something that you conceptualize and then you're executing it, then it's not really a part of you. It's just a job. Like, so if this man puts on a suit to do his job, like, because he's he works in the office, so he puts on a suit to do his job. But when he goes out, that might be the time that he wants to let his hair down. So he may not want to be in a stuffy suit because I wear suits every day. Like, I want to relax. I'm in my personal time now. So I don't want to put on a 3-piece suit because that's what I wear 9 to 5 every day. Like, that's not for me. I hear what you're saying, but for me, that's a little bit different, because it's like it's not necessarily that this dude is posing, although there are some posers out here, but it's not that this dude is posing. It's just that, look, I do that every day. Like, now when I'm chilling, when I'm with my people, I just want to be relaxed. So I don't want to be, do all of that. I want to have to put on a suit. I don't want to have to code switch. Like, I ain't really interested in doing that when I'm in my personal space, on my personal time. I just think that it's unfortunate though that we're even us sitting here critiquing a 9-to-5 man. Like, probably a lot of people watching this show was raised by a mom or a dad or both that were 9-to-5 workers. Some people, had their own businesses or whatnot. And hey, look, if you find another way, I'm all for it. But I'm just simply saying that most of us, we were born and bred that, right? So to now turn around and say, to look down, it's one thing to say, I would like to do something different. Totally okay. But it's another thing to almost look down on it though and say, I wouldn't even really mess with nobody like that because it's just not enough for me. And it's like, wow, really? Like the, you know, the working class, which AKA the middle class, it, you know, we basically prop up this system. We carry it on our backs. So if that whole class just collapsed, you know, so with everything that we see around us. So it's crazy to me that, you know, DoorDash, Lyft, I'm cool with that. That's still, to me, that's still a gig. Like it's more flexibility. You kind of own your own time. So I do appreciate those types of opportunities, but it's still a gig. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not 9 to 5, but it's still a gig, you know? So I'm looking at it like, I'm not even really talking about the DoorDashers or the Lyft drivers or Uber drivers. I'm more so talking about the cats that's like, I don't want to mess with 9 to 5. I'm putting them dead last. Like, I'd rather put somebody who scams somebody out of their money, credit card scammers, identity thieves. I'd rather put them and drug dealers before somebody that go to work every day and make 6 figures at a legit job. Like, that's like mad disrespectful to me.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you look out the 9 to 5 men carry themselves. And that's what I'm saying. It's not how they dress, it's how they carry themselves after. It's like sometimes you meet people who work 9 to 5 and they don't want to be noticed that they're educated. You know what I'm saying? Or they, you know what I'm saying? They want to fit in with the masses instead of shine who they are. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I got friends around me, you know, some got masters and doctors and stuff, but you know, they don't dumb themselves down. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think about this. Sometimes you got the people, you know, if you go to the, you know, y'all don't go to clubs, like you say. And back in the day, you know, you go to clubs, people from 9 to 5, they didn't, you know, they dressed down. They didn't wear their work clothes to, you know what I'm saying, out unless they went to the happy hour. And then they mingle with the people they was with, you know what I'm saying, in their environment. But nowadays, even in the military, as soon as these mothers take off these uniforms, first thing they want to do is they be out in the streets like they from the hood and all that stuff like that. You know, everybody can shake their head no, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. You know, the truth is ugly because guess what? Being from the
that is not the truth.
Look, there's more people trying to go into the projects than be from the suburbs. You got kids that go from the suburbs to the projects, and that blows my mind. That you grew up in the suburbs, but you will relate to the projects. And if you say that's a lie, then you foolish. You foolish. Because guess what? You can take a toll and see how many of these kids are from the project, in the prison that come from the suburbs trying to emulate something that they think is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Lowe's. Go ahead, man.
Okay. First of all, a lot of those women are capping for the video for likes and views. When he asked the ladies, were they actually with someone like that? The answer was no. So it's easy to say something, and it's another thing to actually live it. It's a lot of people stunt when the camera's on them that don't really mean that that's their lifestyle. I'm not saying that people actually don't go after that, but did you even hear the words that really came out their mouth? Well, he can always take me out Monday through that. A trap boy can't take you out Monday through Friday. What are you talking about? So first of all, you don't even know what you're talking about because you're young. And we all been young and we done all said a lot of things from a young standpoint. So just because people speak from an ignorant standpoint, don't make it their truth. Do young ladies, some of them feel that way? Yeah. Okay. And you know what I'm saying? That's, people got to grow up. And it's funny how sometimes the older we get, we forget how we talked when we was that age sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We didn't always say the most prolific or the right things. And now that we get grown or uppity, well, I would never. And we're all pristine and we be capping. We used to tear the club up. We used to act the fool. At least I did. I'll be honest about it. I used to act the fool in the club. I used to talk one type of way, but that's not who I am today. It's not how my lifestyle turned out. And all I'm saying is, I believe it was my sister Chloe who pointed out, these women have no clue what they even talking about. Their words don't even match up with the real reality of what they're thinking that's going to happen. Now, here's one thing that I did want to point out, though, and I'm going to let someone else go. The business transaction of it. Because somebody said that Charles pointed out, well, at least they coming up. That sounds like people going to the NFL draft. Everybody want to be in the NFL, but everybody don't make it to the NFL. How many situations don't turn out right? How many situations turn out to baby mama drama? How many situations turn out to somebody losing their life? How many situations turn out to people getting in fights and abuse? How many situations turn into emotional trauma from narcissistic situations? We don't weigh the percentage of things that go left versus the opportunity of things that possibly could go right. How many times that someone was in the wrong place and got shot for somebody else, and it had nothing to even do with them? But we don't discuss that part. We just discuss the jewels, the change, the hot boy, the dinners, but we don't discuss the reality of what real life really look like. Life is real. And if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. We just lost God, rest in power and peace, young Dolph. We just lost somebody to the fast lifestyle. We just seen the situation with the baby and his baby mama. You know, not judging that situation because I didn't see the beginning of the video, but I do know what gaslighting looking like. And so in the midst of his video, when he was recording her, it was a lot of gaslighting going on. You know what I'm saying? To get a person to look a certain way on camera when you press a person's buttons. You know what I mean? So we got to look at this from an overall perspective of being young, naive, not knowing. And at the same time, what are we teaching them as parents? What are we instilling in our children? What are we showcasing? So I think it's a full circle. So I think it's a balance of parenting. And I think it's a balance of what's the reality of life that we're in. And then how do we talk? Because we can't forget where we come from. And if we knew how to finally maneuver out of that, how can we instill that and teach that to our children?
So go ahead. Oh, sorry.
I'm going to say this. You know, this younger generation and even our generation, we chase money, you know what I'm saying? Because we want to make our life better. To say that even though they gaslight and stuff like that, and you know what, everybody knows their situation they get into. You know what I'm saying? If you date a dope boy, you know his lifestyle. You know what you up against. You accepted that part of his life. Because guess what? If they didn't, they wouldn't be in that life. You see what I'm saying? So everything that people do in choices and stuff, you know, because like I said, yeah, them dope boys will take you out every day a week.
Did you see the baby's video, Charles?
No, I didn't watch it. I don't listen to this. When I say this, you know, everybody's situation is different, you know. I don't know what goes in the household. They just famous because that goes in everybody's household. It goes through everybody's house. I mean, not everybody.
Did you actually watch the video and why I said he gaslit her in the video?
No, I watched it. I watched the video. But guess what? What I'm saying is, Los, even though he gaslight him, what she's saying is true. It is true that most of this. Look, you ask a young woman nowadays, they don't want no 9 to 5. They want the dope boy. They want to go out to eat. And guess what? Most of these boys, these young men, or these men in their 30s that are out in the streets, they guess what? They go out every day and they eat. They could take somebody out to eat. And if they on these streets and they can't take somebody out to eat, they can't afford to spend $100 on a woman to eat, they ain't doing a job right. Because guess what? A lot of them are doing it big. And that's what it is. It's like I said, we got to forget the streets is a corporation. It might be a legal corporation, but it is a corporation. They make money. They make more money than most people will ever make in their life if they're doing it right. So we can't be blind to that. You know, so we can't say, well, that's the lifestyle, they're gonna die and stuff. That's the choice they made. You know what I'm saying? That's their choice. They made it. You know, I've been in them streets like that. And I understand that, you know, some people gonna choose wrong and somebody gonna choose right. And some of us gonna outgrow that lifestyle. But at the same time, you know, if you ain't been in them streets like that money is real. That money is real. It's not fake money. It's real money. And even though they gaslight it to a point that you said they gaslight the women, but guess what? They looking at things.
Charles, we on 2 different pages, fam. Mm-hmm. We on 2 totally different pages right now. When I talked about the gaslighting, we on 2 different pages.
You talking about how he got them to feed what he wanted them to say, right?
No, not at all. What I was talking about was when the baby confronted his girlfriend and threw her out when she was breastfeeding a child. I'm talking about that video.
I didn't see that. I don't support. Listen to this.
Exactly.
Things like that. I don't.
So that's why I'm saying we're on 2 different pages because you didn't see that video. I'm not saying the dope boy lifestyle ain't real. That would be naive. It is real. People do desire that. I'm not saying that that's not a real desire. What I'm saying is the percentage of the fantasy that people think the reality of this is a business transaction, and I'll get this, I'll get to go to college, and then I'll start my real life. Everybody don't get that fantasy. Everybody don't get to mess with a trap boy, get out the game, go to school, and their life is just amazing, and then they go back to a 9-to-5. That portion doesn't always work out, is what I'm saying. That's a fantasy. The same way Chloe was like, yo, if he a dope boy, there's no way he's taking you out every single day of the week because he on the street or on the block working. That's not a reality. But when you heard these young girls take it, yeah, because he could take me out Monday through Friday and we can eat every single day. That is not the reality of what it really is. Now, can a dope boy take you out and buy you nice things? Can he splurge on you every now and then and you enjoy that fast money? Yeah, factual. But that's why I said the percentage of it is kind of like the NFL, who actually can live that lifestyle and get out of that lifestyle and everything be okay.
Go ahead.
So I want to speak to the part about us speaking about the youth. So this is something that like I have to address because it has come up before. I'm going to speak about the youth and I'm going to tell the truth because you tell the truth and shame the devil. The youth today, they are confused and a lot of them are lost. We are not talking about, clubbing and drinking. And if we were just talking about kids being young, going out clubbing and drinking, we'd be talking about the same thing we did, clearly. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the mentality. Did I say things when I was younger that I didn't know what I was talking about? Absolutely. But I'm not talking about that. Did I make stupid mistakes when I was young? Sure. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there is a very distinct difference in the way that the young people think today. And if we don't, as elders, bring this to the light and talk about it, because see, the only way you can actually reach some type of solution is you have to first raise awareness that there's a problem. A lot of these young people don't even realize that the way that they're thinking, that there is problematic. And I'm not saying this go-get-em spirit, the entrepreneur spirit is a problem. None of that I have a problem with. It's the way they want to get to this stuff. It's the path that they're taking to get there. And if somebody doesn't say, y'all bugging, this is not the way to do this. Like if nobody says that because we go, well, they gotta have their time, we gotta have our time. Because I'm sure when I was out there bugging or making weird or just being weird, that I had people telling me, you might not want to do it that way. Or I've been there, you probably don't want to do that. So why would I not, as an elder who's walked that path or a similar path, who's had the time to be young and dumb or whatever you want to call it, why would I not now say, baby girl, I'm looking at where you at and I'm just telling you, like, this isn't the way. Like you want to really think about how you're speaking, where did you get these ideas from? Because see, as a parent, I'm raising 2 young men. They have to grow up to be men. And here's the thing. I'm going to only be accountable and responsible for a certain amount of how they turn out. Because when you reach a certain age, it's on you. None of those young women looked under 18. Yeah. So I'm only going to be accountable for so much. You're not going to put everything on me. So what is the parents teaching them stuff is valid because I see some of this stuff. I see parents do some stuff with their kids that I would never do. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a problem for that child when they get older. So yeah, there's a certain amount of accountability as parents that we should take. But then at some point we have to go, okay, wait a minute though. You have to grow up. And just like I had to learn too, because my parents weren't perfect. It's not like the example that I had was just without any type of issues. Y'all don't know my story like that. But I had to come up and make certain choices that either I'm going to do similar things or I'm going to do something different. based off what I want for my life. So we're gonna stop just accepting things under the guise of, you know, people are young and, well, you know, we had our time, and, you know, that's never going to, we're never going to make any kind of change or affect any kind of change in the young people if we just excuse the behavior. And I'm not saying that you saying excuse it. I'm simply saying we can't excuse it. Like, we have to address it, and we have to say, this ain't cool. Like, the fact of the matter is, these kids want things handed to them. They do not want to work for it. And if
that's nothing new, though,
if y'all saying that, and anybody that said that they don't see that, like, these kids really want everything handed to them. They literally want the lifestyle handed to them. They want the money handed to them. And these young women, I hate to say it, not all of them, I can't speak for all of them, but these young women, they literally want these lifestyles that they see these Instagram models, or these lifestyles that they see these celebrity women that they see them living. They want all of these things handed to them. And they feel like the best way to do that is through a drug dealer or a scammer or somebody who's making money quick.
That is nothing.
That's what they want.
New.
You know, that's why they saying that. Like, please understand that this mentality is not just coming from parents. Okay, I'm not saying that some of the parents haven't gotten bitten by this bug before. Some of the parents are young enough to have the same issue. Okay, so I'm not going to say that. But what I'm also saying is, a lot of these young kids are getting raised by YouTube. They're getting raised by Instagram. They're getting raised by Facebook. They're getting raised by social media. They're getting raised by Meg Thee Stallion, Young Dolph, may he rest, and everybody else that's out here bugging and saying all kinds of stuff out their mouth. They're getting raised by this stuff. These are the things, that's why they call social media influencers. These literally are the things that are influencing these people, these kids, because they're impressionable.
I'm gonna say this with about that, because, you know, I didn't see the baby video, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say the alphabet game, because there's too many letters, the LBG committee, whatever you want to call them. I call them the alphabet game. When they boycotted him, where they saying that he said something offensive to him, you know, they took him down. You know what I'm saying? But now he's back up. Now that he did this, what you see, and that's what this video is showing, because I haven't seen it. What are we gonna do about it as men? What are we gonna do as men? We're gonna sit here, we're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? To talk about what happened. Because guess what? All we can do is talk, because guess what? Hey, we're not gonna have the impact that the alphabet gang had on him all day. You know what I'm saying? He gonna still make his money. He gonna still throw out another woman feeding his child. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? As a culture, we're not gonna say we ain't gonna stand for it. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't even watch things like that no more. You know, I might say I'm not gonna stand for it. I'm just one person. And we could discuss that all night, but it still ain't gonna change the fact. Tomorrow morning, he gonna wake up, he gonna make them dollars. They're gonna still sit and he gonna loop it in YouTube and whatever fashions. He gonna go do his show. He'll come back home to the same woman he threw out with his child, or put in another place. And guess what? He's still gonna make his money. So it ain't gonna change a thing unless we you know, because all we're gonna do is talk about it. So that's why you know, sometimes I don't participate and watching stuff like that, because it ain't gonna change. No matter how.
Let me grab this comment, man. So we got two convos going on. Let me grab this comment. We're gonna loop back in a sec. Hold on, one sec. All right. Erica Arrington dropped a comment. She said, like I always say, it's social media manipulating what's real. And the problem with the new generation is they will not listen to us, even though we've been in their shoes and can provide them with the exact examples of what happens next, which I didn't always listen either as a young adult. But basically it comes with maturity. And yeah, Erica, I agree with that, right? You know, kind of stepping back for a second. I know you were saying, Los, that this is not new, which I agree, right? This is not new. I think the problem is it's getting worse. And I think that's the issue. And with it getting worse, and this is just from my personal perspective, with it getting worse, I hear less and less people speaking against it. And I think that's part of the problem. Like I said, we've gotten to a point in 2021 where it's almost frowned upon to correct somebody. Like you catch flack when you speak against something that somebody is doing that really ain't all that good. And we see it time and time again. Like I said, I know that the technical label this day is cancel culture, right? But that goes outside of celebrities. That comes down even to the personal level, right? So when we're looking at this video and we're looking at these young ladies in their 20s and 30s, where basically in their times where they will be possibly, you know, connecting with some man to possibly have a family, we got a situation where these young ladies are sitting here talking about the fact that they want to basically want hot boys versus hardworking, solid dudes. And like I said, that's got to be, somebody got to call that out, because at the end of the day, that mindset, that's not going to get you where I think these ladies may be trying to go. That's not going to get them there. Like I said, at the end of the day, I understand we all go through a phase of immaturity, right? We all them been there and done that. We all have been there and done that. But even through your phase of immaturity, there's still the opportunity for somebody to help guide you
100%
through your immature stage, right?
100%.
And I'm just starting to feel like people have pulled back from doing that. Yeah, people see stuff happening right outside their house. They don't want to say nothing. You know, people see these young ladies talking about they want a drug dealer over a dude with a job. They don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? They'll say something behind closed doors, but they're not going to say nothing out to where it actually can affect some type of difference or some change. And this is the other thing that we got to remember. Just because somebody does not acknowledge the correction that you gave them, don't mean that they didn't receive it.
Right.
Yeah, see, we tend to think because somebody doesn't just acknowledge what we've told them that they ain't get it. And trust to believe, sometimes all it takes is for you to plant the seed or drop that little nugget or slide that little gem in there. And trust and believe, if that situation go down, they gonna go back and think about that thing. So we got to stop thinking that just because we saying something and people not giving us that instant response that they ain't get it or they didn't take it in. Go ahead, Los.
I think sometimes we contradict ourselves, and we want to change in the midst of a contradiction. Why would I listen to you? And it's this generation. I think the way we formulate our conversation turns people to deaf ears. Well, your generation's like, people didn't say that about the same generation before them. I think we have this generational blaming system, for me, that's passed on over and over again to the next generation, right? And then we want people to be open to us and be like, well, listen to me. Well, how did you present the conversation, older generation, when you brought it? And at the same time, if I didn't, like you said, Quay, if I didn't respond to you right then and there, that doesn't mean the message isn't there. And are you consistently showing up with the message? Or did you give the message one time, believe that your words don't matter, and now you ain't got nothing to say to me no more? Quay, I'm pretty sure when you were growing up, you had that one person that kept talking to you over and over and over, and they kept planting the seed. Not only did they plant the seed, they watered it, they nurtured it, they talked about it to make sure that that seed grew. Nowadays, we have attitudes of, well, they ain't listening to me, so forget it. Well, you can't tell me that if you go to the gym one day out the week, you're going to get in shape. Where's the consistent care? Where's the consistent showing up? Where's the consistency, not only in your words, but I'm watching you and looking at your actions. Do your actions of what you preaching to me match up with what your lifestyle is? Or are you just preaching to me? Because when I'm watching you and I look at what you're doing and how you moving, it ain't matching up to your words, but then you want me to change. Sometimes we have fake honesty. We honest about how someone else should be, but we're not even practicing what we preaching. And then you wonder why we don't bear the fruit, because this generation is only, the generation today is the fruit that we bared from yesterday's decisions. And sometimes we don't take responsibility for the fruit that we're bearing. And then it's like, well, I don't want to just waste my time because they ain't listening to me. And then we come out and then we say, well, we need to talk to them. Well, which one is it? Which one are we going to be consistent in? Are we going to be believing that our words are making an impact and we're going to be consistently showing up for them? Or are we just going to say, well, they don't want to listen to me anyway? Because we can't have it both ways. Either we're going to be consistent in making the change that we claim that we want for the youth, right? Or we're going to talk about them. But we can't do both. You can't be like, your generation messed up, your generation this. Hey, believe me, you can turn your life around. The conversations don't go together. So how
they do.
For me, I don't think. Well, guess what? For you and in your world, awesome.
No, in your world, you can't have correction.
I'm going to finish my point.
Correction without conviction.
I'm going to finish my point. I never said that you couldn't correct someone. That's not what I said. Not one time in my thing did I say you could not approach the youth and talk to them and say, hey, this is wrong. That's not what I'm saying, sis. Of course, you're supposed to correct the youth. I'm saying, are your actions and your lifestyle matching up with your correction? And if you're going to correct somebody, are you going to consistently keep showing up for that person? Because a lot of times what people do, not saying you, but what people do, even when my mom was on the show, girl, that generation ain't this. Ooh, look at that generation. Mama, I love you. Don't do that. Don't do that, Ma. Because when you was growing up, guess what? Somebody said something about you when you was in the club in your hot shorts and da-da-da-this, da-da-da-that, smoking weed and da-da-da-this, da-da-da-that. And we are only an evolution of what it is. This generation ain't growing up in the same situation. Our environment right now that we're living in right now has totally changed. We are not in the same environment that we were then. So they face different challenges now. So all I'm saying is, yes, we can confront the problem. Yes, we could talk about the twerking and the clothes and what we're saying in the music. And yes, we should be able to, but we got to be consistent in how we show up. Not
so I can't come in agreement with all of that. Because here's the specific things that I can't come in. And that's okay. We'll agree to disagree. That's why we have to have these conversations. But here's the thing. What you said that I was trying to speak to is that the two don't belong they contradict each other. The two don't belong in the same conversation. And this is where I disagree with that. You cannot have correction without first having conviction. So first I have to bring to you, because this is how the Holy Spirit works. First, he got to show you that you're wrong so that you can understand where you went wrong and how you went wrong. Then he's going to come back and say, but this is how you can correct it. Because I have to show you that you're wrong first. I can't. And listen, I have to give it to you. You have to know your audience too, right? Some people you are going to have to color your conversation. You're going to have to tailor the way you speak to. And some people you just gonna have to be straight up honest. You have to know your audience. So
I'm saying the same thing though, Chloe.
First and foremost, not if you're saying the two don't belong in the same conversation, because they have to belong in the same conversation.
But sis, if
they have to belong. They have to belong. If your actions
don't match your conversation, then it don't matter. If your actions don't match it, you can. How can I correct you, but you still see me doing wrong? I'm saying your actions have to match your words.
King, I heard you.
I know that.
I heard you. Let me respond. I don't agree with how you're saying this, and let me tell you why, so you can understand it. Okay. First and foremost, because I'm gonna take it point by point, so you can understand where I'm coming from. The two have to live, because you did say this. The two have to live in the same conversation. I have to call you out about the behavior so that you can understand, hey, it's not right. I do agree with you that a person that's going to correct someone shouldn't be double-minded. So you can't be correcting somebody about their lifestyle if you yourself all messed up. Like we're not, but that's not even what we're saying right now. The people that are on this panel are not people who are out here trying to tell somebody something and they live in whacked out crazy lives. Like the people are not, that's not us, right? So if we're now using this platform to then have this conversation with people, I agree with you. Before you step to somebody, you need to correct yourself and get your house in order. So I don't disagree with you there. But my point is, when we start talking about this generation, it literally is a classification. You're right. The generation that came before us, This is how they distinguished their generation from ours by saying this. That's why they baby boomers, Generation X. These are all classifications. So we don't want to get so lost in the sauce to say, well, we offended. That's this spirit of offense that's alive and well right now. It's crazy to me. Everybody's so offended about everything. We always have classified ourselves by generations. We got millennials, we got Gen Zers, all of these classifications. And now when we then turn around and use those classifications to speak correction to somebody, it shouldn't be a problem because it's just a classification. We don't need to get lost in sauce. Yes, this generation, meaning not the one that you and I belong to as a classification, not our generation, the generation that is coming after us and the generation that's coming after them. We are seeing a progression in some of these behaviors. And maybe if the generations before us were more adamant about their correction of our behavior, we wouldn't have. So if we didn't, let's just be honest, if we wasn't, accepting Lil' Kim and all of that and calling that all good and calling that okay, because we were, and I was one of them, rapping along to it and not giving a care. Maybe if we wouldn't have let that through and let that pass, we wouldn't have a Meg Thee Stallion and a Cardi B today. So let's just be honest. We're seeing a progression of this behavior. Koesi is right. It's not that it's new. It's just that it's getting worse. And so now is not the time for us to go, well, it's too late to correct it now, or, well, we have to be careful.
No one said that at all.
Careful. And I'm not saying you said that. We have to be careful about how we say it because we don't want to do this and we don't want to do that. And it's becoming this, like Koesi was saying, it's becoming this situation where you even have to now feel like sometimes you have to second guess whether or not you even want to speak up. Because this is the feeling, right? How dare you tell me something about myself? When at the end of the day, truth be told, even if we didn't take it and run with it, even if we didn't listen, there were people who was talking to us that had the generations before us that had lived and experienced, that was telling us the stuff that we was doing was crazy. They was telling us we was wilding out. So now we're doing the same thing. It's just, the way I have a problem with the fact that the way people conceptualize correction, like nobody wants to be corrected. People don't want to hear the truth. People don't want to be corrected. It doesn't matter how you tell them. It doesn't matter. Now we're nitpicking the way people say it. We're nitpicking the words they use. We're nitpicking when, how, where, who, what. And it's because at the end of the day, people don't want to be corrected. And I'm just not here for it. I'm not here for nobody not being able to want to be corrected. I'm not here for nobody telling me, I gotta not say it this way, up, down, left, right, side to side. Like I feel like I'm playing hokey pokey. Like I'm not here for it. I'll never be here for that.
None of that was my conversation, though, Chloe.
At the end of the day, sometimes you just got to get it how you live.
Yeah,
none of that was the point that I made. I think we actually basically what you just said was the exact same thing. So it's almost, you said you weren't in agreement, but it sounds like you're definitely in agreement.
No, I don't agree because you said they don't live in the same sentence and in the same conversation.
I never said that you're not supposed to correct someone. I never said that. What I said was, I don't like how different generations just talk about the next generation, and there is no correction in that. You can't just talk, and that's why I brought up my mother. Mom, you can't just say these things, right, and be judgmental. And then if your lifestyle doesn't match with the correction goals, they're watching you. So why would I listen to you if you're not living that? It makes no sense.
But so just like I have to know my audience, but they have to know their audience too.
Mom, but you're judging something, right? And then you're not even going out there to plant the seed of the correction. So you just can't be like from a generational standpoint and talk generational about the next generation if there is no correction.
But
and
here's the correction right here.
Hold on. And are you consistently showing up in the correction? Point, hold on.
I don't even know. You keep repeating yourself, baby. And I don't understand what point you're trying to get to.
If you would hold on, you would hear it. If you would hold on, you would hear it.
Let me talk.
You
The
repeat
point of it
yourself, though,
is
baby.
how you consistently show up in the correction instead of just trying to judge from the crowd. It's one thing to be on the court, and it's another thing to be in the crowd talking about someone taking the shot. Are you showing up in the person's life? Are you talking to them? Are you showing them the better way? Or are you just in a peanut gallery saying, hey, look at that generation. Ooh, look at this, look at that. You're not even in the person's life. You're not even showing up. And then when you're judging them, you're not even living the lifestyle. You're not even living the lifestyle that you're telling them about, that they should be. You're not even being the example that they should be to be able to see the difference. So, mom, don't sit in the crowd and judge the people in the game. Get in the game. Show them consistently in the game. And if you don't think that that seed is taking root, like Quay already said, don't think that it ain't taking root. Say what you got to say. Plant the seed and continue to show up in a person's life. Continue to nurture. Even if they don't want to hear it, eventually in time, that seed will grow. Go ahead, Charles.
This is what I'm going to say, right? The problem is with that a person living this lifestyle trying to correct somebody and he's not living that lifestyle, that is an incorrect statement, because you can learn a lot from a fool, idiot, dummy, and a criminal. Because guess what? They're going to tell you not to do it. And they're going to give you reason. Because I remember when I was younger, them dudes told me, hey, man, stay on that porch, man. The street life ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? They trying to warn me. I'm looking at it like it's cool. Like, yo, I want to be like you. No, you don't. Go to school. You know what I'm saying? The conversation. Right. Even though they're not living the life that I should be living, they're living a different life, and they're trying to prevent me from going to that way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
no, I agree 100% with what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is, just because somebody corrects you or gives you good advice, it don't matter what lifestyle. As long as the advice is good and sound, you should receive it. Because guess what? You can learn a lot from somebody.
I agree.
And you can't be picky on because of what their lifestyle is.
But notice what you said in your story, Charles. You said that man came and spoke to you, right?
Yeah.
You said he told you to get off the porch. Hey, stay off the block. Hey, do this. So that man interjected in your life and he actually spoke to you, right? I'm not talking about the people that's actually speaking to you. I'm talking about the people that's in the audience just judging without speaking to you.
Oh,
I'm just talking about the people. Yeah, so I'm talking about the peanut gallery. I'm talking about the people in the peanut gallery saying something, but they're not actually speaking, saying, hey, you don't want to live that lifestyle. Hey, young blood, you might want to try this out. Hey, let me show you something different.
But
you're talking about someone who actually interjected and said something to you in life versus somebody who's not in your life that don't want to say nothing to you, but just want to talk about you. Those are two different people.
We do have the common sense to judge and learn from people who are not saying things to you. We have that capacity that we can actually okay, because you know what, we be judged not because we open our mouth, it's because of the color of our skin every day. So guess what? We do have a capacity to learn by people's body languages and stuff like that. So, we can't handicap it just because they didn't speak to us. Because how many times you've been in the store and somebody cringes up or get tight when you get around, or change their conversation and stuff when you come around, or overly pay you attention when you're in the store. You see what I'm saying? So we can learn. We got the capacity to learn. It's just the fact of the matter is, what is our desires nowadays? Because when I say this generation, I say it just in a text, because some of my generation is still in this generation. This is not just one generation. When I say this generation, it spans from my generation to your generation to my dad's generation. Because guess what? Some of them people belong in this generation today. It's not just one generation. When you say this, I mean the whole collectively, from my age up and down. Because guess what? We have stopped teaching. So when you say this generation,
exactly what you just said, we have stopped teaching. But in order to teach means you need to get out and teach, not sit back. And look, I know Kwesi, right? Kwesi on the block. I'm not going to say nothing to Kwesi. I'm just going to talk shit about Kwesi. Oh, he ain't nothing. Look at him. Oh, look at that. But I'm not going to actually go help him. I'm not going to actually go speak to him. I'm not going to say, hey, young blood, you going the wrong way. Like, okay, Charles, here's a perfect example, because you knew me when I was a child in Alaska. Mm-hmm. You knew I played football, and you know how I had potential, and you know how I had I played sports, right?
Right.
You seen a couple of other people that we hung out with, and I'm not going to say their names, but you would say, hey, you don't need to do all that, bro. You too talented. You don't even need to go out that route. You know what? You need to do this. You need to do that. You actually spoke, right? And you have spoken to my life. That's one thing to speak into somebody's life, right? And then it's another thing to be the other person saying the same thing, but not speaking into someone's life and just only talking trash about the next generation. That's what I'm saying. You have people that talk trash about the next generation, and then you actually have people who actually want to help the next generation. Like, here's an example. Chloe has said, you know what? I'm going to represent for the ladies. I don't care if they like it or not. I'm still going to tell the truth for the ladies because I want to help the ladies. She's not in the bleachers. She's on the court actually helping the ladies. Even if it's just through this show, she's actually on the court speaking to put in help. But if Chloe wasn't doing that and Chloe was just in the background, man, look at them, Meg Thee Stallion, these and all they talk about, they want this, they want that, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about that person. Those are two different people.
Yeah.
And so when my mom was in the peanut crowd and she was just saying, well, this generation ain't this, Mom, are you actually out there going out to talk to these girls? Are you actually going out there to talk to these people? Are you actually just trying to pour into their life? Or are you just going to sit back and talk about it? Because how can someone else grow to become something new if we don't want to take the time to talk to our future?
Yeah.
We have to talk to our future. Because if we don't do it, somebody else going to keep doing it for us.
Yeah, I'm going to speak for the older people for real. And I'm going to tell you like this. And this is the problem, especially when you got grandchildren. And when they bring their grandchildren or your grandchildren to your house and you talk to your grandchildren and try to discipline them, guess what the child say? Don't touch my child. Don't talk to my child like this. I want to have to bring my child back over here. This is my child. This is not your child. You see what I'm saying? So how are the older people teaching when they trying to teach and correct these children, and when their child is telling them to stay out their child life? I raised my child. I don't like how you raised me, but guess what? They raised you right to a point. They gave you values. And now your child don't have values because you don't install them. Because guess what? It ain't the parents' fault. It's that child's fault because they didn't let the parent in that life. And that's what's going on. Because guess what? I remember grandparents was untouchable. Nowadays, these kids talk junk to their grandparents, steal from the grandparents, disrespect their grandparents.
That just started nowadays, Charles. That ain't been happening.
Listen, I don't listen to this. Listen to this, bro. Like this. To this day, and I'm going to tell you like this. I got elders right now. I don't care if they drunks and stuff like that. When I talk to them, I don't raise my voice. If they wrong, hey, I try to tell them. If they're wrong and they stuck in their ways, that's their right. They live their life to feel how they feel and be how they are. They live more life than me. You know what I'm saying? And when I was younger, we didn't do all that disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? You know, sometimes it depends on neighbor you grow up in.
That has to be cap. That's not universal.
No,
I understand what you're saying in your home, right? But if the black family or the family was really like that, we wouldn't be where we are today. So something is broken in the cycle or the system because we are where we are right now. Did you not hear the video that Quasi just played? With these young girls talking like that? That just didn't happen out the blue. That happened because parenting has been broken over generation, which has led us here. We didn't just magically get here.
You said the same thing I said. That's what I'm saying. You're just saying it different. I'm saying when the grandparents and them try to help them raise their children, or how you say these neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, it takes a nation to raise the children. When these elderly people tried to help, the generation didn't receive it.
So do we stop doing it? Do we stop?
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm asking you.
Listen.
Do we stop showing up?
No, listen.
Do we stop doing it?
Listen to this. I'm telling you like that. We haven't stopped showing up. You know, there's kids that come into your life that say, hey, I ain't never had a parent or somebody who cared for me. And you pay them attention. And you treat them like they're supposed to, and you invest in them. The knowledge that you would invest in your own. But you gotta understand, Carlos, this is not a thing that's gonna be fixed overnight, but yet still most of these kids, or these young, I ain't gonna call them kids, these young adults, do not want nobody interacting with their child. And that's a fact. They don't want, they gonna give their child what they want to give them. You better not put your hands on my child, or I don't care if you're the grandparent or not, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you. And see what I'm saying? So
Well, see, Prince, I got a question about that. So where do you think that came from?
Ha!
The stories I used to hear,
Thank you.
the stories I used to hear from my parents was the parents was open to other parents disciplining their kids. So where do you think that came from to how we've got to the point where parents are now not okay with other parents disciplining their kids, especially if it's coming from the right place? Like where do you think that change came in at?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Me personally, I think it came in, and I'm gonna say it like this. I think it came from the government. And I'm gonna say it like this, because when we used to discipline our kids, and now you send your kid to school, and your kid got a little mark from the belt or something, guess what? Now they saying it's child abuse, but yet still, you say I'm disciplining my child as child abuse. Sometimes it is. I'm not gonna say all whippings were fair, because some of my whippings was not fair. It was a ass whooping. It wasn't a whooping. It was an ass whooping, hands down, beat down. I'm gonna tell you like this: it wasn't fair. So
I mean, we ain't gonna act like there wasn't child abuse out there. There's a difference between parents doing discipline and abusing. But I do think that you don't always have to beat your child with a belt. I do think that comes just from slavery. I do think there's other ways to correct your children. But here's the thing. I think parents don't want to be parents. I think parents want to let YouTube be parents. Parents want to let social media be parents. Parents want to let a television be the parent. You watch TV while I go do this. People don't want to parent no more.
No.
And then not only that, babies is raising babies. You know, you see what I'm saying?
No, Cole.
Hold on, man. You playing with fire. So wait. So you trying to tell me that you don't think these parents is trying to be parents anymore? You think they want to let these systems raise their kids? Is that what you saying, Los?
No, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Wait, how many times have you been chilling and you seen a little baby right there? She got a big iPad in front of her on the iPad the whole time. Mom doing whatever she doing.
Okay, so hold up. So I've seen that before, right? So I'm gonna use your point in this one. So we in a different time. So I've seen that before, but how does that dictate that a person is no longer or a parent is not trying to parent anymore because a kid has a tablet? Like how we get to that discussion?
Because we don't spend time with them like we used to. You don't think we've lost the connection, even though technology is amazing? You don't think it's desensitized us from human touch, human experience, human conversations? Do people even sit at the dinner table anymore? How many family moments do we even have nowadays? And then we wonder why the family structure is so broken, not just from the systemic standpoint, because Charles is 1,000% right from a government standpoint, but just from how technology has affected us as a family, just from men not being men and men not taking care of their children from a standpoint, from women stopping men to come home who do want to take care of their children. It's a lot of brokenness going on. And then we wonder why we're bearing the fruit that we're bearing. All I'm saying is the fruit ain't what the fruit is if all the parents is doing what they're supposed to be. The fruit is what the fruit is because something's broken. No. And we got to address them brokenness. And children are accountable.
Let me tell y'all something, man. This is the thing. Y'all was young. I don't know how old you was, Quay. I ain't gonna say you young. You probably old.
Me and Quay about the same age.
Okay, y'all was young when all this started happening with the child abuse. Y'all was part of that generation that if you got a whooping in new school, and then the kids, when they called people that came and took these children out the house and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? So guess what? The parents start saying, I'm not gonna raise them. Guess what they start doing? You can have them. If I can't raise them the way I want to have them, they start putting these kids in the system. They start putting them in the system. A lot of people don't understand. Now when they start getting them in the system, now the system don't care about you. Now the taxpayers are paying these dollars, and they building these institutions to teach these kids to fail. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, now once they broke up the home. Now the people that are still at home, then they start chasing. Then they had that I hate to say it, that witch hunt, and I hate to say it because it's not that men that had baby girls. Oh, you going there getting questioned about following your daughter in a black home. You know what I'm saying? These black men now, they don't want to, hey, back up off of me. I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it went down. It went down in the 90s as far as destroying the black man in his house. A lot of people don't know it went real Now, could you think about it? They start educating, standing up upright, looking you eye to eye. No, you can't have that. You can't have that. Now, let's take them back down and destroy this home. And then not only destroy the home, guess what? I don't care if your education is good. I'm gonna hire the woman with the same education the black woman. I hate to say it like that. And guess what? They, you know what I'm saying? They reversed the roles on us and made us feel inferior. And guess what? We start beating our women, start neglecting our kids. And then people don't think that, you know, like you said, sometimes it's pride. But when you a man and you know you're doing your best and you beat down, you know what I'm saying? And no matter how hard you go up, you got beat down. You know what I'm saying? You give up. You know what I'm saying? You accept life for what it is.
Yeah, but see that I think that's the problem though, man. Like I said, you know, and I have to go back to the video. Yeah, we've talked about a few things so far, right? So we've talked about the folks who just sit back and just talk about what's going on or criticize what's going on. We've talked about the people who take a active role in what's going on and try to help and correct it. You know, we've talked about the, you know, like Prince just said, the brother who tries to do his best to, you know, handle his business. And then I said, I got to loop back to the video. We still looking at a video where young ladies are saying that they prefer a drug dealer. And it's like, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not the youngest cat out here and I ain't the oldest cat out here, but I don't know who's teaching young girls to go after a drug dealer. And I'm like, are we looking at a situation where people are not teaching these young folks to think for themselves? Are we looking at a situation where money has consumed us to the level that we don't care about our morals and our home teaching and what grandma was teaching us?
Yep.
Are we looking at a situation where because of these short attention spans that social media just looks so enticing that I'm willing to put it all on the line for a couple hot dollars and a couple 5-day dinners, like old girl said? Like, come on, because I know ain't no mamas going around. I said, and I can't speak for everybody, but I'm just gonna go off what I've been exposed to. I know it ain't that many mamas going around teaching their daughter to go get a drug dealer. Like, I don't see that much. And I don't think it's a lot of mamas going around or daddies going around telling their daughters to go get a scammer. I don't see that a lot either. So I'm just trying to figure out who's really doing the teaching. Because at the end of the day, I know social media plays into things. I understand that, right? But then I also know parents play into this as well. So who's really doing the teaching? That's really I need to understand that, because this ain't making sense.
I said earlier, if we not doing it in the home, somebody else teaching you. Oh, you're gonna learn that lesson if I'm not planting the seed in you. And you, like she said, CC Power said, you know, people are growing up in broken homes. If I'm not teaching you and I'm not instilling the seeds in your mind, then the government is, music is, film is, social media is. All these things are still being planted in your mind, right? And if your mind is the garden, when you go outside, the things that you see become the seeds that's being planted, right? And then when you see it over and over again, then you're watering it and then you're nurturing it, becomes your thought. And then your thought becomes your reality. And that's what you believe to be true. So my question is, who are we allowing to plant the seeds and who is actually going in the garden of the mind to pull out the weeds so that way we can tell the difference of what's what? Because if you don't take the time with your children, someone else is taking the time with them to instill what they want to instill. So what are you allowing to be programmed into your seeds, into the future? Because if you're not doing it as parents, it's happening regardless. If you don't talk to your kids about sex, you better believe when they go outside and they go to school, they learning about sex. They're gonna talk about it, period.
So let me, because I've been like listening and trying to listen, but I would like the opportunity to finish what I was saying, because this is why I was saying exactly what I was saying. There are a lot of elements to what we're seeing in this generation, and I'm perfectly comfortable saying that because it is a distinction. And the reason why we need to make that distinction is because both C. Prince, Quay Price, and King Jaquel Martin have given us plenty of reasons to acknowledge that there is a difference in the group of young people that are coming through now than who we were and who the generation before us was. So we're going to make this distinction and we're going to keep it like that. I'm going to keep it the way that's the way I communicate. So to continue to make this distinction, this generation is being taught primarily by what they see. And what are they seeing? Okay. They're seeing female rappers and male rappers who are glorifying sex and money. Okay. They are seeing, right, because social media has become their role models, Erica. Their role models are no longer their parents. You have girls who feel like they daddies working the job, making six figures, ain't what they look up to no more. See, when I came up, we looked up to our fathers. We looked up to our uncles. We looked up to our grandfathers. We thought they was doing something. This generation is distinctive. It is unique because they have completely gone away from that mindset. So it is to sit here and say that it's not is cap. We need to acknowledge it. We need to call it out. And I may not be able to reach every single girl and touch them face to face, but this is why we have platforms like this. This is how you should be using social media. Your mother comes on this show and she speaks very well, and she speaks to the youth often on this show. We use this platform for that. I use all of my social media. If you follow any of my social media channels, not only that, I have a young woman who I used to work with that I mentor. So at the end of the day, you reach them however you can reach them. And to be honest, this tool is the most powerful right now because their faces are always in it. So if you can reach them on a platform like this and talk to them, then that is what you need to do. And yes, it ain't always going to sound pretty. It ain't always going to be a pleasant message. It is what it is. And as far as judgment goes, the Bible says not to not judge. It says to judge righteously. So if I know that I've lived this life or I've made these mistakes or I've done these things in my past, and now I come to you and I say, daughter, niece, friend, sis, I'm seeing where you're going. And it's the wrong way. As a parent, we have a great responsibility to monitor what our children are seeing, to monitor what they're listening to monitor what they're watching, their social media channels. Ask my son. Clink, clink on what he's exposed to. Because the thing is, as a parent, you can be teaching your children something in the home, but when they step outside those doors, they have friends that influence them. They have things, and you have to be very careful. Personal experience. I've caught things that I don't allow in my house, but because maybe another parent, maybe different, teaching their kids slightly different. So now that influence is now an element in my house, and I got to squash that. You know, Mr. Price has to squash that. See, we have to do that. So yes, there is an element where parents do have to be on top of it. So I agree with C. Prince. I agree with King. I agree with Mr. Price. That is very true. But understand that social media, these celebrities, YouTube, they have our kids' attention. So we are literally battling with these elements for our kids. We are battling. And let's just be honest. Some of us are losing. We're losing. And it's not, some parents aren't trying. Okay, let's just say that. But some are. Some are, and we're still losing to this element. We're still, because they're looking at the fast money and the big life, and they looking at the weaves and the hair. They're looking at all this stuff, and even though you're telling them, no, there's another way, there's a better way, there's a cleaner way. Even though you're telling them that, they're looking at this, and they don't glorify mom, you know, working and then coming home and cooking and doing the thing, you know, and you know, mom getting it. Now, mom taking care of everything. They got the latest iPhone. They got all the nice gear. Okay, they do. But see, that don't look like what Megan doing though. That don't look like what Cardi doing though. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we're competing with. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go light on these kids. I'm going to go hard on them. Not because I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be judgmental. I'm going hard on them because we're going to have to use a different tactic with these kids. It's a different generation, a different type of kid, a different situation. And basically we at war. So no, I'm not going to mix my words. I'm not going to go easy on you. I'm not going to, pat you on the head and send you on your way. I'm going to give it to you hard.
Notice what you said, sis.
That's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to apologize about it.
You said that you go to your son and you talk to him. You said you go to your son and you go through his history. You say you go to your son and Mr. Price goes to his son and y'all have tough conversations because you're actually going to your son. You're actually talking to your son. All of that is amazing. And you said sometimes, even though despite the fact you're going to him, you're still in a war with the machine outside of your home. What I was saying was that is my point. You have to go to them, not sitting on the back burner just saying, well, look at this and look at that, blah, 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 blah. Are you taking action? And you just said that you and Mr. Price are taking action. And in the midst of you taking action, you are still at war because he still has to go outside. He still has to go into the world. He still has friends. He still gets to go into his friend's home. And everybody home don't operate the same. So when he comes back home, you got to go back to war to get back to reprogramming your baby so he can be prepared for what he's going to war against, because it's just not physical, it's spiritual, right? So you took action and by speaking to him. Love it. That's why I say we're on the same page. I'm talking about the people who just talk and they're not taking no action, who are just judging, but there's no resolution. Remember back in the day, we were always taught this. If you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. But most people just want to talk about the problem, but they don't want to get up to put the action in to create the solution. So I commend you and my big bro, Quay over there, for taking action with your child, for going through his history, for reprogramming your child. Because if you don't do it, you just admit it. When he go outside, somebody else is going to do it. His friends are going to try to do it. His friends' family going to try to do it. The school system going to try to do it. People outside, people he runs into, his face in the phone, the iPad, the computer, all these different programs are trying to program your baby. And if you don't program your child, then someone else will. That's why you have to do your homework. So let me get that. Let me go. Oh, look what I just found. You need to go talk to him about that. Oh, Quasi, you know what? This one for you. Go ahead, Daddy. Go in there. Because if I do it, I don't know if my baby gonna make it. So I need you to go in there today. Tag team, high five. You know what I'm saying? You gonna high five Quay real quick. Quay gonna go in there, and Quay gonna say it from a different perspective. Because sometimes that's why they say it takes a village or it takes a neighborhood. Sometimes what you say, as much as you love your baby, ain't gonna resonate. Sometimes you gotta bring in the big guns, and sometimes what Quay say ain't gonna resonate. Sometimes y'all gonna have to go in there together, because one-on-one you ain't winning that battle. Quay might not win that battle, but together you might win that battle. He might have to go to grandma. He might have to go see, you might have to go bring out the big guns. You know what I'm saying? Because we are in a spiritual battle, because these children are facing things that we really never had to face the same way they got to face it. So yes, are these children a new generation, a new breed? 100% agree, sis. 100. And how we talk to them has to be different. I was only addressing in my point, you can't be in the crowd. You got to get in the game. And you're in the game by this show, by what you do in your home, by what you do in your school, how you're mentoring. That is Chloe in the game. And you're going to go hard or go home. I'm talking about the ones that don't want to be in the game at all, and they just want to sit back and just talk.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Let me get this question real quick. Then we're gonna get ready to wrap. CC Power, she said, question: what if the child is intelligent enough to delete the history?
What do you say, Mr. Wester Price? What do you tell your child? Yeah.
You know what? Let me say this. This one is hard, right? So some kids are smart enough to delete the history, right? What I'll say in that situation is that's the kid that you got to plant the seed with. Yep, I don't think a lot of the right seeds are getting planted. Another issue that I'm seeing today is a lot of these things are too easy. Yeah, that's another issue that I'm seeing today. A lot of these things are too easy. And what I mean by that is there was a time when a young lady could get told by another lady that says you need to go get you a scammer. And as soon as that young lady heard the word scammer, she was like, nah, I don't want that. Yeah, there was a time when a young lady
Sorry.
No, you good, man. There was a time when a young lady was told by some other lady, sis, if you want to live a good life, you need to go get you a drug dealer. And that young lady was smart enough to say, you know what? That don't sound right. I'm gonna pass on that. That's another issue that we seeing today. Yeah, this stuff is too easy. It's too easy to get these young folks to absorb this stuff. Yeah, they don't buck it anymore. They don't resist it anymore. Like I said, when I came through, you know what I'm saying, there was these young ladies and all the dudes was getting with these same girls. She was just getting passed around. And then there was a situation where that young lady came your way and you was like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna pass on that. See, dudes these days, they probably going right on and grabbing it up. And see, that's another part of the difference. Yeah, like I said, a lot of our young folks today, like I said, they just too easily influenced. Like I said, you remember back in the day when they used to say, if this person go jump off the bridge, is you gonna jump too? A lot of these kids today, they gonna jump. We wasn't jumping. We wasn't jumping when I came through. It's like, no, you going to jump. I ain't jumping. But nowadays, it's like, hey, I'm about to jump this bridge. Why don't you come with me? And they jump right with them. And like I said, that's a problem because that tells me that you don't know how to think for yourself. And unfortunately, that's not all parenting. If that's in your character, if you don't know how to think for yourself or consider things for yourself. Yeah, but as they used to say, everything that glitter ain't gold. Yeah, just because a dude got some money, don't mean it's good money. Yeah, just because a dude it can take you out 5 days a week, that don't mean that's the move.
Mm-mm.
Like stuff has just gotten too easy now. It's too easy, and this is what is going to make it harder for the parents to parent.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's going to make it harder for the mentors to mentor. Like this is what we dealing with. Yeah, like this is literally what we dealing with. And I said, this is, I know we at that time to get ready to wrap, but it's like, that's really what I'm trying to figure out. How do we really get our hands around this thing? And I almost want to describe, I don't even think the word is weakness, but it's almost a level of weakness. And I'm not saying physical weakness, but it's like a mental weakness. And
Quay, the level of temptation. I said, what about the level of temptation that's out there? Because they face a different level of temptation. Remember. Here's an example. Remember we was growing up, Quay? Sex wasn't displayed. You used to have the black and white TVs and you used to try to focus to see what was going on. And it is everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you turn on. excuse my language, ass and titties everywhere. Everywhere. How do you fight your child from seeing it when it's everywhere?
Yeah.
It's almost like Tupac's mom said, they are going to give you the tools to destroy you. And now there's so many tools out here, we have no clue, and they have lost their mind because access granted with everything.
Yes.
And you see these highlight reels, and it's tempting to try to say, whoa, look at me, go to school, keep my head down, when you see access everywhere. Why is she on the boat? Why is he on the yacht? Why are they in a different country? Why? I want that. Kanye said it best. They made us hate ourselves and love their wealth. Because if we ain't living a wealthy lifestyle, we don't feel worthy.
Yeah.
With the access to temptation beyond just sex, everywhere. You see people got 1,000 bands right there, you know what I'm saying? And they on Instagram and they just showing it. When you see girls just flexing and stunting and showing, bro, we could do a show like this and get 100 likes. A girl could be in a G-string twerking and get 1 million likes. It's everywhere. Being smart ain't popular. Being smart ain't getting you no followers. Being smart is the new stupid.
I feel that.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But yet being sexually overly active, oh, it's everything now. We got OnlyFans pages. We got swipe right to christiansingles.com, sugardaddies.com, iwannabe.com. You can go on Roblox, a children's game, and in the back secret passage of Roblox, because kids are smart, they know how to go into the secret rooms and find the little secret things that's in children's video games. You got grown ass adults dressing up as your child's favorite costume character, performing sexual acts. It's everywhere. They can go try to look up, name a cartoon that's nowadays. They put that in YouTube, and they got grown men in those costumes acting a fool.
Ridiculous.
Go ahead, see Prince. I said we're gonna get ready to wrap, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. You know, I think what we fail to realize here is that the drug dealer, the con artists, are now considered to be providers. That's what they are. People, you know, that is a job. Like it or not, it's a job. It might not be a legal job, but it's a job. Because guess what? There's more drug dealers than athletes. There's more drug dealers than doctors. There's more drug dealers than the 9-to-5 man and women. Because guess what? The 9-to-5 men is their customers. Understand this. Why wouldn't you want to be lazy enough
That
to
was a bomb drop, Wade. That was a bomb drop. The 9-to-5 people can be their customers sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Tom, let me get that stack. Let me get a quarter. Let me get an ounce, brother.
Why do you go to work when you could give them some work? You know what I'm saying? Why? You see what I'm saying? Why do you have to? Why I didn't get up at 9 to 5 when I know you get up at 5 o'clock? You come looking for me. You know what I'm saying? You go home, you go work, pay taxes and everything, and all I do is get up, roll over. It ain't 4 o'clock yet. Or he ain't off yet. You know what I'm saying? Or better yet, I know his SSI check or his VA benefits kick on the first. Why he calling me now? You know he broke. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, see, Prince, you a funny guy, man.
That's
Did you just say why go to work when you can give them some work? Is that what you?
Why?
That's terrible.
I'm serious.
That's gonna be a sound bite for the commercial, man. Why go to work when you can give them some work?
Wow. I don't even feel right laughing at that.
This guy,
That's
man.
terrible. That's terrible.
This guy, see Prince.
I'm for you, sis. I got you.
That's terrible.
But I'm telling the truth, though.
Man, we gotta close this out. Man.
Wait. Can I answer CC's question too? I want to answer her question about the kid that's intelligent to delete things, right? Okay. So I never underestimate good old fear. You know, like I come from the school of, you know, we were scared of our parents to a certain extent. There was just some stuff we didn't do because we were scared. We had a healthy fear of our parents and what they would do. So before my son even got it in his mind because he is quite smart, to start deleting stuff. I said, and maybe this won't work for everybody, but Mr. Price is in IT and he controls our network here in the house. And I said, before you even think about deleting anything on your phone, just know that your father can find it. So
hey,
it
Quay,
wouldn't do you no good.
Chloe, I told Kingy, I said, don't worry, you could delete your history. I already went into say the parenting parental to send me all your history every time you log in.
Exactly.
So I get a recording of everything that you do on your iPad, son. So it comes straight to you. So it's fine. Delete all you want to. But when you get home, I'm gonna pull up this report for you and we're gonna talk about it.
Look, I'm from the school of hello, T-Mobile. Yes, I'm going to need a full printout of all the activity on phone number. Yeah, see, I'm not going to play. I'm an old school fool. Okay, like old girl said in the movie, I check credit card statements. I check billing statements. I check everything. I don't play about that. I don't know. It's real out here, these streets.
Look, hey sis, I go so smooth with it. I'll take a picture of his old history statement, right? I'll take a picture of Kingy's. I'll make like a little video of his old history statement, and I'd be like, "So you don't think Daddy can see what you're watching?" And show him an old bit. I don't show the dates because you know it's time stamp, but I show the video of his old history. I was like, "Look, what's this right here?" Roblox this, Roblox. What was that right there? What was that right there, player? You don't think I can see? Stop playing with me.
Look, I'm gonna tell you what y'all do. When you get your kid, take that cell phone from him, and you go buy old. But most of y'all ain't got home phones no more. Go get that old rotary phone, because my boy did it to his kid, and it took him 2 weeks to learn how to dial on a rotary phone because they kept pushing the numbers and saying the phone was.
Man, ain't nobody getting no rotary phones, man. Look, man.
I like that idea, though.
Hey, if I catch you, you're gonna take this phone to school right here and you're gonna carry it. The brick, the old one. Go ahead, this your phone. You got a phone because I need to get in contact with you. But if I catch you, it's your phone, and I know all your boys gonna talk about you. All of them.
No
so go ahead and play with me.
No doubt. Well, no, let's say we about at that time. Let's say you guys have anything you want to say in closing, or y'all good to go?
I'm good.
I want people
Great show, guys.
Yeah, good job. Yo, we have to understand this, right? Life is like a fraction. I'll give you this math equation. 2 equations before I go. You have life and you have you. And you are the common denominator of life. What divides you in life, because life is always going to happen since the day that you were born, is your emotional intelligence. And how do you use your emotional intelligence? Because we all have it. And how do we take time to deal with our children? Do we give them time, attention? Because I think those 2 things nowadays, because of technology, we forget about time, and I think we forget about attention. But if you're not willing to give your children your time and your attention, am I close enough, Chloe? All right, there we go. If you don't give your children time and your attention, I promise you, the system will. The system will give it all the time they want. It'll give them all the attention. Don't worry. Oh, Xbox gonna take care of them. Xbox can go for hours and hours and hours. Social media can go for hours and hours and hours. If you don't give them your time and your attention, I promise you, whoever wants to give them that time, gonna give them every bit of it. And they're gonna plant something there that you don't want. And when that thing grow, don't be upset because you didn't take the time to give it to your child. So make sure that you give your children time and attention, because at the end of the day, it's priceless. Because you hear the richest people in the world, before they die, they said, man, I wish I would have gave my family time and attention. All the stuff that I bought don't matter. But make sure you give your children, I'm going to say it one last time because I'm long-winded, time and attention, because it's priceless. Because you are the farmer of your children's life. And my question is, what type of crop are you trying to grow? You already planted the seed and they're here. Now you don't want to take care of your own seed? Now you don't want to water your seed. Now you don't want to reap the harvest of your seed. Now you're not working on your legacy for your seed. Now you're not building no more. And the only way for it to grow into what you want it to be is you got to give it time and attention. That's our show. Quay, talk to the people. Make sure you like, subscribe, and bring a friend. You feel me?
Sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this real quick, then we're gonna get out of here, man. I'm just gonna say this to the ladies, because I said I know that was the context of the conversation tonight. Ladies, y'all don't want no drug dealers. Y'all don't want no scammers.
Facts.
Go out and find you a well-rounded man. Yeah, but well-rounded man can do all those things that you think that these scammers and these drug dealers can do. And then at the end of the day, you know, life is a marathon. I'm not sure where all this sprinting stuff came from, but life is a marathon. So take your time, find the right dude, or better yet, let the right dude find you. Let me switch that up. Let me switch that up, because that's really part of the problem. Ladies, let the right man find you. Yeah, don't go find a scammer and a drug dealer. Let the right man find you.
Facts.
Yeah, he may start off as a 9-to-5 guy. He may turn into a multi-millionaire entrepreneur guy. You don't know. Let the right man find you and build with that man, and y'all do what y'all do. But all this fast life, this hot life, this what was the hot girl summer, all this garbage, that ain't the move. That ain't the move.
Let me go to the opposite side of that, fellas. That ain't the lifestyle you want either. Y'all are some of the smartest businessmen ever. Y'all are probably the best businessmen ever.
Facts.
All you need is a different product, bro. If you can find a different product, bro, you ain't got to be looking over your shoulder every single day, and you can still make bread. It might not be as fast, but those who live fast die fast. Find a different product, family, that you can do what you do. But you guys are the best salesmen in the world. You are the best marketers in the world. Y'all got gifts that these corporations will never have. You have built multi-million-dollar businesses from the mud. If you can do it from the mud, imagine what you could do with the right product.
I would also say to ladies too, since this seems like we're like giving solutions. So like, I mean, ladies, also understand your value. Like, please understand your value. You are worth so much more than just going out every night of the week, or Hermes bag, or a Louis Vuitton wallet. Like, you're so much better than that. And I'm so glad that we're having this part of the show, because I think it kind of got lost in all the conversation. But like, you're so much better than that. That please don't value yourself based off of that. And just like Mr. Price said, you don't want a drug dealer. No. You do want to find a level-headed dude that's, just want to work hard out here. And working harder don't always mean he could work smart too. So we ain't saying he got to run himself in the ground. We not saying that. Like, just like Peter said, like, his hustle might be Forex, his hustle might be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard work too. Okay, it's just a different kind of work. It's clean. So when we say work hard, we don't mean that the man got to be grinding, like he got to be physical labor grinding. But you know what? If he do, respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's making his money honest. And you don't know what that man's going to do with that, to grow that. But I'm saying all of this because on the flip side of that, ladies, you have to be ready for him too. Okay? So don't want this man to present himself, level-headed, good head on his shoulder, making money for himself to be able to provide for a family, and potentially you, if you're that one that he chooses. But also, ladies, what are you doing to prepare yourself when that young man arrives? What are you going to be ready for him? Because that's the thing. I saw a lot of young women talking about what they want to do to be able to do for them. But not once did I see any woman say, you know what, he could work a 9 to 5 because I'm gonna be doing what I do too. So together we're gonna be good.
Legacy
I never saw one of those young ladies say that. And young ladies, you need to have that mindset. If he's doing well enough where you don't have to work, great. But come to the situation with something going for yourself. Okay, something going on for yourself. Be ready. Be ready, because if you're ready, he's going to see that. Please understand that you will be putting out that energy and it will be attracting. But if you're putting out the gimme, 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 all I want is what somebody can do for me, the right thing for you is probably not going to approach you because he can see and feel that. So I just want the ladies to think about that as well.
Hey, sis, that was so fire about them knowing they value, because we are so conditioned and brainwashed that we don't even understand the things that we value is the same things that put us on the plantation. You value somebody else's name that don't know you. Red Bottoms, Louis Vuitton, whatever brand that don't know you, but you don't really have the value for you. Because if you had the same value for yourself instead of someone else's brand, where would you be? Don't be a slave to something that someone else built when you should be working on your own legacy for you, your family, your man, and most importantly, yourself. So that's why my sister's saying bring something to the table. Just don't be stuck in somebody else's brand name that don't know you, that's enslaving you. So while you buying their products, their children are the ones sitting on an island relaxing, not having to work because you working for them.
Hey, Quay, I'm going to say it one time only. Let me wrap it up for them like they say, ladies. They say right now, y'all might be drop dead gorgeous. But guess what? Y'all will be get dead worthless if you continue down the path you're going. That's what they're saying.
Look at Charles! Look at Charles! Big brand! Big brand!
Good one, Charles.
And fellas, if you're gonna lead, make sure you ain't leading them to destruction trying to live a fast life. Make sure you lead them to the promised land of your legacy, because that's what real men do. Straight like that.
For sure, there it is. With that being said, this is Look in the Mirror, the conversation. We do this show every Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern Standard, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, every Thursday night. Definitely go like, share, subscribe. We got our Cash Apps. If you feel inclined, we got our Cash Apps down here at the bottom of the show here. Mr. Quay Price and King Jaquil Martin at Cash App. If you feel like dropping a couple of dollars on the show, and so we can help build this platform and keep this thing moving forward. But I said every Thursday night. So with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we will catch you guys next
Love y'all.
Thursday.
We appreciate y'all. Share this conversation.
For sure.